Hi and welcome to the very first episode of Critterish Chatter. So this one's going to be a little bit self-indulgent because I'm going to talk about myself. You can't chat with somebody you don't really know. Well, I suppose you can chat with strangers, but I thought I'd introduce myself to you all and make it so that you know who your host is and you can approach me with your ideas and stuff. So my name's Dale Priest Kelly, and I am an animal-assisted therapy practitioner, a job which I've been doing now for around 14 years. Started the company back in 2010. The company's called Critterish All Sorts, and I visit prisons, psychiatric hospitals, care homes, baby hospices, schools, and all sorts of places with my animals. And we do therapy with the residents, and we do workshops that help people get through tough times. And it's been quite a journey. Started from nothing, and now I'm running a successful company who have some really big customers such as the NHS and the prison service. And we've been in magazines worldwide. We've been in newspapers worldwide. We've been on TV worldwide. And we have lots of people from all over the world that follow us on social media and follow our journey. I am the author also of 3 books. One is called Organic Guinea Pigs Health Revolution, which is all about my health journey. I have Unleashing the Healing Power of Animals, which is about the work I did in psychiatric hospitals. I wrote that before I started working in prisons. And I have The Existential Chicken, which is a book which is all about the chicken and the egg question, which came first. All available on Amazon if you so desire. And we can talk more about those maybe at a later date. And we do all of that. So TV shows we've been on 5 News. We've been on Steph's Packed Lunch, which is no longer there, unfortunately. We've been on there twice. We were on what's it called? It's called Educating Greater Manchester. There you go. We did an episode where we took some animals in and we worked with the students there to see whether or not animals would help the students to study better, and they did. So a little bit about the podcast. So I'm doing the podcast because I thought it'd be great to have a podcast that talks about lots of different animal subjects, from animal welfare and animal rights all the way through to different animals such as invertebrates, mammals, birds of prey, all that kind of thing. And also talk to people that work with animals in zoos and vets and rescues and all those kinds of things. It's going to be a little bit raw. It's not going to be polished like a lot of podcasts are. I say a lot, and you'll get used to hearing that because I don't have an editor. I don't have a director. I don't have a script writer, as you can probably tell. And I have just started this using a self-publishing podcast app that doesn't allow me to edit anything. So if I say things over and over, I'm sorry. Please let me know. I'll hopefully get better as we go. Remember, this is episode number 1, and it's going to be a little bit rough and tumble. So please stay with me on the journey, and hopefully we'll make this journey together, and we'll have a good time and a good laugh doing it. Okay, so what have I got? What do I know about animals? What experience have I got with animals? So, I have been keeping pets for 46 years, since the age of 10. Giving away my age there. Started with a rabbit called Silky, a little Dutch rabbit, and he was awesome. He was my best friend when I was at school. That was my first experience with animal-assisted therapy, I suppose. I just didn't realise it at the time. But my pet rabbit, he knew everything about me. I didn't tell my friends, stuff I didn't tell my family, stuff I didn't feel I could approach anybody with. He knew what girls I liked at school. He knew what teachers annoyed me. He knew what pupils bullied me. He knew what my favourite things to do were and what my favourite songs were, so I used to sing them to him. So I used to do all this stuff with Silky. We used to spend lots of time together, and yeah, he really helped me through my childhood. And unfortunately, he died, but he didn't die until I was 21, so he was about 11 years old when he died. He got myxomatosis, unfortunately. There wasn't a vaccine back then, and yeah, he was he was a very treasured animal. So yeah, so I've kept rabbits ever since then. Every time a rabbit's ended, I have found myself another rabbit, and rabbits have been a part of my life for the last 46 years. I've had lots of cats. At one point, I had 8 cats all at the same time in the same house. That was fun, but they were cool. What else have I kept? So my mum and dad wouldn't let me keep anything that was a little bit more exotic. So the snakes and the lizards and the spiders and all that. So after I left home at the age of 18, my first acquisition was a green animal. Well, I got 2 green animals, and then I had a garter snake, and then I got myself a Haitian curly-haired tarantula, and then I got myself a corn snake, then a bearded dragon. This was back in 36 years ago. So we're looking at the late 80s, early 90s. I got my first bearded dragon. Another animal that I've kept ever since I had my first one, because I love them. I think they're awesome. They're so full of character, and really easy to keep for beginners. Nice and hot and dry, and you're kind of sorted because they're a desert animal. And yeah, they're just awesome animals. They're so cool. What else have I had? So yeah, so we had them. We had a cat. Later on in life, I had dogs, guinea pigs, more snakes, more lizards, more spiders, more insects. One could say I'm addicted, I guess. But the majority of animals over the last 15 years that I've had have been rescues. I'd say 98% of them have been rescues. I currently have 65 animals, which are, like I say, 98% rescue. And I do enjoy rescuing animals. I do enjoy giving them that lease of life that they deserve. So some have come from broken homes, where marriages are broken up, etc. Others have come from people getting bored of their animals. Sometimes people buy animals for their kids, and then they hit the late teenage years and it's like not interested anymore. Others have come from homes where they've been mistreated or neglected or abused. So yeah, it's a bit of a round robin of different types. But I do enjoy giving them that new lease of life, so to speak. So I currently have in my collection snakes. I have lizards. I have 4 different species of tarantula. I've got millipedes. I've got insects, stick insects. I've got frogs. I have tortoises. I have a chinchilla. I have skinny pigs, not guinea pigs, skinny pigs. And I have rabbits. And I have a cat and a dog and a chicken. And 2 ferrets, 2 fantastic ferrets, most amazing animals. They're so much fun, it's unbelievable. Also, especially during COVID, when obviously I couldn't do what I do. So a little bit of history. I had a girlfriend back in 2017 who passed away from cancer. And in order to get myself back into the community, meeting people, etc., I joined the team at my local safari park, where I got to see giraffes and rhinos and antelope and lions and tigers and elephants and just a cornucopia of different animals. It was fantastic. And yeah, so I started working there. Great fun, great bunch of people, great team, great atmosphere. and we were in the entertainments team to start with, because I did a bit of acting at one point in my life. And we were in the entertainments team. We used to help entertain the guests during their days. And we got disbanded as an entertainments team about 3 years in, and I was given a role as a tour guide. I used to take people in a minibus around the safari park and tell them all about the animals, which was brilliant. We really enjoyed that. Met lots and lots of different people. One guest who sticks in my mind that I had on my bus on one of my tours was a lady from America, and we were looking at the white tigers, and this lady said to me, Hugh used to have white tigers in his collection, and I said, who's Hugh? And she said, Hugh Hefner, and she was Hugh Hefner's zookeeper. She managed his animal collection, so that must have been pretty fantastic, and it was really interesting talking to her, and just really kind of getting the gen on Hugh Hefner and the Playboy Mansion. That was pretty cool. So this podcast is going to have lots of different guests from lots of different backgrounds. From doctors to people with degrees, and businesses with animals, and people who just dedicate their entire lives to animals. We've got TV people who work with animals, and lots of different people that I know. Who we are going to approach to come on the show. My initial idea is that I will do a show a month, and those shows will last around 40 minutes to 60 minutes, in order to try and minimise the time that you have to sit listening. I don't know about you, but I listen to podcasts when I'm driving. I do enjoy driving and listening to podcasts. One that I'm particularly addicted to at the moment is called Who the Bleep Did I Marry? And I really can't get enough of that show. I also like a podcast called Ologies, a podcast called Science Viz, or Science Versus. And then there's another podcast called Real Survival Stories, which is sometimes really quite frightening when you see what situations some people have been in that they've got out of, and they shouldn't actually have got out, and they should have perished, but they've got out, and they're 10 years later, and they're doing absolutely great. So it's a fantastic place, the podcast place. I love podcasts, hence why I decided to start my own. I was on a podcast called OT and Chill, where one of my contacts in the prison service does a podcast, and he asked me to be a guest on his podcast, and we did a podcast about animal assisted therapy. So check that one out, OT and Chill. We do enjoy that one, and it's a great place, the podcast community. We love it. So that's a little bit about me. I'll wrap it up now, because otherwise you'll just get bored of listening to my voice. The next podcast episode should have more than just my voice. Hopefully there will be the voice of somebody else, and I will be interviewing them. And we shall, as I say, it won't be polished. It'll be quite raw. I am recording it onto this podcast via my laptop speakers. It should be quite interesting, but we've done some tests, and it seems to work. So let me know what you think, please. If you do want to let me know what you think, you can email me on allsorts@critterishallsorts.co.uk, or you can Facebook message me, or you can send me a message on Instagram. I'll give you the handles a bit later on. But let me know what you think of each episode. Let me know how often you'd like episodes of my podcast. Let me know your ideas for subject matter, and maybe for guests that I can approach to come on the show. And let me know anything else you want to about the show, let me know maybe how I can polish the show off a little bit better and make it more interesting for you to listen to. Forgive my accent, please. So, if you want to get in touch and you want to follow me on social media, we have Facebook, where you can find me as Critterish All Sorts. That's CRITTERISH space All Sorts. You can find me as Critter Assisted Therapy. Those two are on Facebook. You can find me on Twitter, or X as it's now called, as Critterish UK. You can find me on TikTok as Critterish All Sorts. We've got a few videos on there. One of the ones from Educated Greater Manchester is on there. You can find me on Instagram as Critterman. You can find me on YouTube as Critterbox TV. You can find me on Threads. I am known on there as Critterman. And you can find me on LinkedIn, Dale Priest-Kelly. That is my name. So you can find me all over the place. And whether you want to approach me in a professional capacity or you want to approach me with regard to the podcast, that's great. The website is www.critterishallsorts.co.uk, or you can go to the Animal Assisted Therapy specific website, which is www.critter-assisted-therapy.co.uk, or you can go to our old friend Google and Google Critterish All Sorts or Dale Priest-Kelly, and we will both come up, as will some of the things that we're associated with. On the critter-assisted-therapy.co.uk website, there is a page called In the Media, and you will see some of the magazines, publications, and TV shows that we've been in. Anyway, thanks for listening to this very first episode of Critterish Chatter. I've been Dale Priest-Kelly. I'm sorry it's been a bit self-indulgent, but we're approaching guests and waiting for them to come back to us. I didn't want to leave it too long, and I thought you could meet the host. So welcome, and thank you for listening, and this journey has begun. Join us on the road trip. Thank you. In the next episode of Critterish Chatter, we will be talking to a bug lady who is batty about bugs. We will be talking to her about her work with bugs and her work with native bats in the UK. So I'm really excited to be chatting to Carrie at the weekend to get that interview in the bag. And it's really, really quite an exciting topic for me as well, because it's fascinating. So tune in for that. Carrie's an amazing lady, full of energy and passion for her work. So really looking forward to sharing that one with you, hopefully at the end of March.